Hello. So thank you for coming along this evening to quick and easy makeup for busy women. So I'm just going to pin my hair out of the way a little bit. Now I have done a bit of an intensive makeup artist course a while ago, but this is this is designed not to be. This is designed for the everyday person, for the everyday busy person. And this is just some hints and tips of things that I do when I'm in a hurry, not to do really fancy makeup, but just to do sort of everyday makeup. So please do ask me questions as I'm going along. And I've not really done this on Zoom before. I've done it on Facebook Lives a lot, so I hope it's going to work all right. I'm a bit blurry compared to how I would like it to be. Maybe it's just my eyes. Maybe that's the issue. I think I need to go back a little bit more. So what I'm going to start off with is actually concealer and Illuma. So I'm going to start off with BB cream, with the Tropic BB cream. And one thing I will say is that your makeup, good makeup, is only as good as the skincare that you use. So I love the fact, I don't know what Nicola uses, but I love the fact that you two ladies are using Tropic skincare already, because if you have got nicely nourished and hydrated skin, your makeup is going to go on so much better than if you don't. So I've already got skin that's been cleansed, toned, moisturized today. And don't forget SPF. The Tropic Sunday makes a really good sort of primer. It's got a really nice gel-like consistency, so it's a nice primer for your makeup. So I'll just whack some of that on. So I would do this every day. Really, really important to protect your skin from the sun. So do that every day, but also this is protecting from the blue light as well, from your laptops and your phones and everything as well. So really very important. So that's the Sunday. And if you haven't got one of those in the Tropic skincare that you've already got, I really, really recommend that you do use that every single day. So just stop me if you've got questions, okay, ladies? So I'm using our BB cream foundation. The theme of this is supposed to be quick and easy. So what I would say is that you can use your fingers, but if you use your fingers to apply foundation, I'm sorry if any of you are experts and I'm teaching you to suck eggs, but if you use your fingers, you sort of more rub it around and you almost kind of like rub more off than you're putting on. It's a good idea to use the flat end of a brush, a flat-ended brush. I like this one. I like our precision face brush for that, because you can really get in and work into the different areas. You can get bigger brushes, bigger flat brushes. Our kabuki brush is good for it as well, but I prefer to use this. If I was doing my makeup properly to go out, or spending a bit more time on it, I would be using this and I would be pressing the foundation in to the skin rather than sort of swiping it, if you see what I mean. But for speed, I like to, and seeing as that's what this is supposed to be, quick and easy makeup, I like to use a damp beauty drop sponge and just pop it on. Now I'm kind of trying to press in as well. It gives a nice lightweight coverage. You don't look too overdone. It makes quite a difference, doesn't it, already? And it's just a very, very quick way of doing it. Now, I'm someone that's quite dark. See here, I've got quite a lot of darkness in here. So I like to use a little bit of concealer as well. I've also got an area here where I suffered from a cold sore a while ago when I wasn't very well, and it was so big and horrible and angry. It's left me kind of scarred a little bit. So I do like to try and cover that up. We've got our makeup palettes, if you haven't tried a makeup palette, they are really, really fabulous. It saves lots of waste to landfill, because you just replace the thing that's run out. So, and for the purposes of this being sort of quick and easy, like natural everyday makeup, I've I'm going for just things that are in this palette, just to kind of make it easy and just to show you how you can sort of mix and match a few different things. So I've got a concealer in here in this palette, which I love, um, and it's a bit orangier than I need, but because if you've ever got dark areas under your eyes that are kind of bluey, because blue and orange are opposite each other on the color wheel. I used to be an art teacher, so this is coming out. So complementary pairs, if they're mixed together, so the colors that are opposite on the color wheel, if they're mixed together, they make kind of like a brown sludgy color. So they kind of neutralize each other. So where I've got the blue, if I put something a bit too orange on, it's going to neutralize slightly. So just doing that, just to take out some of that blue underneath my eyes. Can you see the difference? I also like to put this concealer just a little bit on my nose because I get a bit of a red nose sometimes as well, and just over any sort of spotty bit. So it just kind of, if you want any areas that just to be, you might not have any areas that need concealing, or you might not get darkness under your eyes like I do. You can also use an orangier illuma than you need if you want to as well. But anyway, this is what I do. I'm just showing you what I do. Like, when I'm in this is my kind of like just everyday quickness. And then I use shade 2 Illuma. Now, Illuma is a wonderful, wonderful product, because it can do so many things. It's really good, if you don't know this, for priming your eyelids before eye makeup goes on. So it's good to put on your actual eyelids. But the main reason we want to use it is for the brightening underneath the eye area. Okay, and you can also use Illuma to give you a bit of highlight on your cheekbones where you'd put some highlighter, because Illuma is light reflective. So I love this stuff, and I go through rather a lot of it. When you have used up 5, you can save them up, and you can fill in a returns form, and they will give you a voucher to spend then, because they recycle your 5 empties for you. You can get a free one. So that's good, isn't it? So use it there, use it under your eyes as well. Some people like to just put it down here on their nose as well, or anywhere where the light hits, to just do a bit like that. Susie Ma, our founder, she always says that it's really good to let Illuma just sort of sit for a while and kind of just warm up on your skin. So if you have got time, just like sort of let it do its thing for a bit first. But you can either use your finger, or you could use your sponge again. I'll use the sponge, seeing as I've got it here, just to dab that in. Okay. I should have taken a photo of myself before I did it. But that gives quite a nice dewy look, doesn't it? If you want a really sort of glowy, dewy look, it's a nice thing to use all over. So that's another thing that you maybe might want to try. So now we've done that, it's a good idea to set your makeup before you're going to put powder on. So we have this product called Soft Focus. Comes in a great little pot, and you can refill these as well. So you don't have to buy the plastic container again. You can just buy a refill, which is really good. This is like a blurring powder. But it's also just acts to kind of like take the shine off. So if you don't want that kind of dewy look, you can just make everything a bit more matte with that. Okay, but it's a good idea if you're going to put on eyeshadow or powder blusher or bronzer or anything like that to over the top of the liquid that you've put on, to set it with a setting powder, a translucent setting powder, just to so that you're working powder onto powder. It goes on nicer. Okay, so that's a good tip. So we've primed our eyelids, ready for any eyeshadow as well. My next sort of top tip. So I'm going to go back to my palette, and I have got a bronzer in here. Now, some people just think that you should just like whack bronzer everywhere. That's not how I was taught. So I'm going to show you how I was taught on the course that I did. I'm just whipping it out of my palette because I find it easier if my brush is slightly bigger. Getting a nice amount on there, tapping it off. It's a good idea to always hold your makeup brushes like towards the end. So if don't hold makeup brushes really low down here, because then you kind of you're putting too much pressure on the brush. You want to be quite sort of loose wristed with it. So I'm just going to go round there on my forehead. I'm gonna do a pouty face. And go there in that pouty hollow, like that. So it's round like that. Okay, so it's like a backward C there. And then I'm going to go down from the pouty face and come round there to chin. So it's like a 3. Yeah, so like that and like that. Okay. Can you see? Now I could put some more on if I wanted to, or I could sort of stop there. So I'll do it on the other side as well. I'll even myself up. And I'll just come down into my neck a little bit there. Okay, so now I've got a lot more sort of warmth there. It's also quite a nice idea if you want to do a little bit down the side of your nose. You could, if you wanted to, sort of do like that down the side of your nose, a little bit on the end of your nose, and a little bit down the side there. So now my nose is my nose, but just somehow looks a little bit better. A little bit more sculpted or whatever. So that's that. Now, a really good technique to work out the right color bronzer for you is to, if you just sort of pull your top down a bit and just put your bronzer next to you like that, with any bronzers that you're trying, you can have a look and you can sort of see which one looks right on you. And I find, especially with the 3 bronzers that we've got, with certainly with Tropic, it's a really good way of testing what color you should have, because instantly one will seem like totally wrong, and then you'll have the other 2 and you'll be like, right, which one should it be? So it's quite a good little technique to use. Now to put on the blusher, because I do think that blusher makes a massive difference to a face. I do think that blusher's really quite important, and so I've got blusher in my palette as well. I like to use this end of the precision face brush and tap it off. And then I'm just going to like over smile, like smile far too much, like that. Right? And then you can see where the ball of your cheek is. So over smile, get the ball of your cheek, and then you're sort of ticking up. And again, you're having a loose wrist with this. You see, I'm doing a little tick up. I might just look in this mirror because it's really weird looking in the looking in the camera of the Zoom. Okay, yeah. And it just gives just that nice lift to the face. I'll just even myself up, do the other side. So again, it's just like a ticking motion, but with a really nice light wrist. And if you feel like you've gone in too much, I feel like I'm a little bit Aunt Sally. If you feel like you're a bit too rosy, it's just all about the blending. It's just kind of keep blending it back and forth. Um, but if you haven't got time, do you know a really good trick is if you think you've gone too far, if you think you're a bit rosy, or you think you've got a bit too much bronzer on or anything like that, is just get that translucent powder out again and just, you can just take anything down a bit if you need to. Okay. That's better. I'm more comfortable with that. Don't feel quite so Aunt Sally now. So what I was going to say about eyes, really, is that if I'm wanting to do a quick makeup, you'll notice I haven't really got loads of eyeshadow in here. What I tend to do for a quick makeup look is I will use my bronzer for an eyeshadow, because the nice thing about Tropic makeup is you can really mix and match it. So something like a bronzer is absolutely fine to use for your eyeshadow if you want to. So because I like to just like have one palette nice and handy for my everyday stuff, I put my bronzer on. So I'm just tapping it off a little bit. Just patting that on my lid. Use a fluffy one to blend. Okay, you see that all right? Just a little bit of bronzer, just on the lids, just to, not do too much if you want to. Now, it's quite nice to add, I've got just a lighter sort of highlighter eyeshadow there that you can just put sort of here. And then I sometimes use that if I want to. It's one that's with a little bit of a sparkle in it. I sometimes use that here as well if I wanted to just add a little bit of highlighter on. So you'll see what's quite nice about our makeup is that you can use some of it for things that it's actually, this is an eyeshadow, but I'm losing it for a highlighter on my cheeks. There's no kind of hard and fast rules, really. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is, and I think this is a great tip, the Lunar eye pencil. And this eye pencil actually at the moment is in our sale for a tenner. And I think if you don't have a Lunar eye pencil, get one, because it makes such a difference when you use that on the waterline. So I'm just going to actually just go down there to do that. Actually, I've gone too low, haven't I? Hang on. Tell I'm not used to doing this on Zoom. Right, let's use something to prop me up. Sorry. Oh, there you go. You can see that now, can't you? Can you see the difference of how that makes your eyes pop? Makes your eyes bigger. And that is just a really good trick, using the Lunar colour just on the waterline. And it will settle down as well. And it just helps your eyes to pop and become bigger. Now, I have quite hooded eyes. And if I were to put eyeliner actually on my lid, then you wouldn't be able to see much of the colour left of the eyeshadow. So what I tend to do is I put a little bit of eyeliner in the corner underneath the waterline. So that's what I use my slate for, or a black one, or you could or a brown one even. And I just put that again on the waterline, just in the corner underneath, to open out. Just, can you see that on the screen, that opens out your eye a little bit more as well? I'm just going to put that on again on the outer corner of the waterline, just to help those eyelashes come out a little bit. Whack a little bit of mascara on. Now, I've got the shortest lashes in the world. If I was going out, I would actually use our lash extension fibres to make my lashes longer, but I'm obviously not. It's nearly bedtime. So I'm going to be just popping a bit on, and in the daytime I would only ever use, sorry, I'm going so low you can't see what I'm doing. I suddenly realised. There you go. That makes a difference there as well. Now, if you wanted to do a little bit more with your eyes, obviously you could, but just for a quick makeup look, I just think just putting one nice color on there that kind of complements the rest of your face, I think is just quite nice. Now, I'm going to talk to you about brows because I think brows make all the difference with a face of makeup. I think that doing your brows is really, really important actually. But what I could do, if I wanted to, is I could take some of my brow powder that I've got in there, and I could actually just put that in the corners and blend that out just to make a little bit more definition on my eyeshadow as well. So again, using my brow powder for multi-purpose, for using it as some eyeshadow too. So that's something that you could do as well, just to give, if you like a two-tone on there. I just thought I would try and show you how you could get everything just in one palette for a really quick sort of daytime look. Right, so 3-in-1 eye brush, really fabulous for doing your brows. So the first thing you do, see, I plucked mine to death when I was younger, and so you can see if you put a straight line up from there, I should actually have some brows here, and I've got nothing because they start far too far over from where I plucked all this bit out. Stupid girl that I was. So give them a good brush, what you have. Some people have more than others. Obviously, I haven't got a great deal. So give them a good brush first to get them where you want them to be. Now, I tend to use the fat end of the brush just to pop this little bit back in that I've completely wrecked. So straight away, I've now got some brow where I should have some brow. That makes a difference, doesn't it? Just literally doing that. And just work it in. Now, I find at a makeup one-to-one or at a makeup pamper, whenever I do one brow on someone, or I get them to do it on themselves, everyone's always really amazed at the difference a brow makes, especially if it's someone that doesn't normally do their brows. Can you see now, just from having that brow done, how much more lifted this eye looks? And actually, I think I just look younger. Do you know what I mean? Just from having that, and that it almost is just like lifted up. So yeah, I think it just really does make all the difference. You might be pleasantly surprised. Okay. So now, if you ever think when you do your brows, if you ever think, oh, I think I might have got in a bit hard. Now I've had my hair's freshly cut and dyed today, so they probably, do they look about the right color or do they look a bit too severe? I'm looking at them thinking maybe they're a bit too severe, but I don't know. Maybe I just need to get used to it. But if you ever do think that, what you can do is just brush them through again, and it will just soften them up. Or again, my favorite best friend, use the soft focus perfecting powder just to calm them down a little bit. So you can see that's one brow just, do you know what I mean? It just is a bit calmer now, just from having that on it. I mean, some people really like to have statement brows, but I'm not quite there. Here you go. So that's pretty much me done for quick and easy makeup, apart from putting a bit of lippy on or putting something on. Now, what I would say, if we're going for quick, something like lip fudge is really good for a sort of everyday look. You've got the rosewood lip fudge, you've got the pink guava, and you've got the clear one, which are all really nourishing and plumping as well. Or just whacking on a lip gloss, I find is sort of like the quickest and easiest thing to do. Because I've got thin lips, if I start to want to do put like a bright red lip on a bright pink lip or something like that, then I've got to be getting my lip liner out and all of that, and that's certainly not quick and easy makeup for me. So I like to just whack on a little bit of lip gloss, um, or a little bit of lip fudge, and I'm away, because it's just nice and easy and quick to do. There you go, job done. Has anyone got any questions for me?